A daytime shooting at a community park in Converse. Who was hit and who police think may have opened fire.
Plus,
how people are helping the state's oyster industry bounce back from Hurricane Harvey 6 months after it hit the coast.
and
It's hard. It's awful.
Stories of bravery when faced with brutality. We hear from the first responders who did take action during the Parkland school shooting.
this is San Antonio's Fox News at 9.
First on Fox tonight, a teenager is fighting for his life after he was shot in the head in a Converse neighborhood. Police say it all started with a fight over a package. Fox San Antonio's David Caltabiano is live at MacArthur Way where the shooting took place. And David, you just spoke with the Converse police chief, right? What is he telling you?
Yeah, Robert, that's right. He's telling us that victim is still alive in the hospital, like you said, fighting for his life after he was shot in the head. And he also tells me the suspect is still on the loose. And this is where it happened, directly behind me in this playground right here. And that's where the teenager shot the other teenager in the head, took the package and ran away in this neighborhood. It all happened around 3 o'clock at MacArthur Park. 3 people were inside this car. 2 of them were fighting over a package. The fight continued outside, and one of the teens pulled a gun, shot the other in the head, took the package, and ran away. People who live in the area say this type of crime is unusual for such a quiet neighborhood.
Oh, maybe some kids are just throwing some late firecrackers or something, and come to find out reality kind of struck.
Incredibly quiet neighborhood and very orderly. For something like this to happen, it's a shock.
Now, one neighbor tells us both the suspect and the victim live in this neighborhood. Now, we told you there was a third person, and that person is still cooperating as a witness with police. And like we said before, that suspect is still on the loose. David Caltabiano, Fox News at 9.
David, thank you very much for that. New numbers are out. Speaking of which, ranking the most dangerous cities in Texas, San Antonio listed at number 2. That's according to the FBI homicide data, which has San Antonio with 125 homicides last year. Number 1 is Houston with 269 murders in 2017. Nationally, Baltimore, Maryland ranked at the top of the list with 343 homicides. We're learning more about the arrest of an alleged white supremacist after police say he used a stolen ID to buy a dog from a local pet store. According to an affidavit, this man, 40-year-old Tyler Freeman, is a member of the Texas branch of the Aryan Circle prison gang. Police say he was arrested after a local pet store found out a recent purchase he made was done with a stolen ID, a Siberian Husky. Employees from the Petland tell us Freeman visited that store several times before he bought the dog, even showed a temporary Texas driver's license with the victim's name on it. But a manager tells us there's no way to know this until after the fact.
There's probably quite a few times where we don't know, in all complete and total honesty, because you don't really know until it actually happens. But there has been a few instances where we do know, so it happens every few months probably.
That manager says they only found out when the financing company contacted them to let them know the transaction had been flagged, but by then it was too late. A local woman now faces theft charges after police say she hijacked an ambulance and led them on a lengthy chase. Started early this morning on the west side of town. Medical rescuers say while they were helping their patient, the woman jumped into the ambulance and drove off. The woman did not turn off those red flashing lights, so police soon spotted her on the northwest side of town, boxed the ambulance in, and finally arrested her after that pursuit. The details have been shocking. Reports of multiple armed officers not acting to stop the Parkland school shooting. Now some are calling on the local sheriff to resign.
We understand everything wasn't done perfectly. Deputies make mistakes, police officers make mistakes, we all make mistakes. It was a shameful, politically motivated letter that had no facts, and of course I won't resign.
That letter he's referring to is from a Democrat, a congressman from Florida, who asked him to step down. The governor, meantime, is asking the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate the police and sheriff's response. All this after a different investigation found at least 3 sheriff's deputies waited outside the high school while the shooter was still firing inside. The school resource deputy assigned to that school, the first on scene, has since resigned from the Broward County Sheriff's Office in disgrace. At the same time, we're now hearing dramatic first-person accounts of the Parkland shooting from police, paramedics, and 911 dispatchers, people who ran towards the danger and saved lives on that tragic day.
So it's hard. It's awful. I have a 2-year-old. I don't want to send him to school.
They're my family. Not only my family, my personal family, but the Douglas people.
Coral Springs Police and Fire Rescue want South Florida and the whole country to know. As the school shooter was on a rampage inside Stoneman Douglas High last Wednesday, they moved with urgency. They put aside fear and emotion. Officer Chris Crawford field-dressed the gunshot wounds of a boy named Kyle, got him in an ambulance, then went dashing back into the danger zone.
The third class, I knocked on the door and I told them I'm, Coral Springs Police, and they said they weren't going to open the door. I had to negotiate with them. They made me slide my ID underneath the door. I could hear more and more desks getting pushed up against the door.
Officer Jeff Heinrich was in shorts and a t-shirt. He was not on duty, but he put on a vest loaned to him by a fellow officer, took a gun from that fellow officer, then the two went in. Heinrich's wife works at the school, and his son is a student there.
And they both heard the fire alarm and decided to evacuate. By the grace of God, when they walked out in the hallway, they found each other.
Since the shooting, a lot of those first responders have been able to follow up with the people they encountered. They say those are the bonds forged in trauma that will last forever.
Over the past several days, President Donald Trump has talked about the idea of arming some teachers. In a tweet, he said trained, armed educators would be a big and very inexpensive deterrent. But he added, it's, quote, up to the states. Here was the president speaking about this issue at CPAC.
I don't want a person that's never handled a gun, that wouldn't know what a gun looks like, to be armed. But out of your teaching population, you have 10%, 20% of very gun-adept people. Military people, law enforcement people, they teach.
Arming some teachers is one of a few proposals the president has talked about, but it's unclear if or when policy changes may occur.
So you will see that your tattoo is changing color and you will know when you need more insulin.
Could the future of tattoos also play an important role in your health? The special ink that may one day help people with diseases.
Plus,
flames erupt in one Texas town and it's all caught on camera. Where it happened and what sparked it.
And you have one more day to enjoy the sunshine because another storm system's headed our way. It'll bring rain and maybe some thunderstorms. When will they arrive? I'll let you know coming up.
And on Max Sports, the Spurs stopped the losing streak, but why the rest of the way out is still going to be a struggle. Visit with the American League MVP, Jose Altuve. Something about winning 3 more titles? Really? And the Walkers from Bernie get to support the other's job this week on the road. Also support each other off the field because of some recent health concerns. I'll bring you their unusual story from Florida, bottom of the hour.
You're watching Fox News at 9.
Welcome back. From farm to table, a local event today stressed the importance of eating healthy and shopping from people you know. This was the scene today at Vegged Out Urban Farms, a new farm about 15 minutes south of downtown, South Bexar County. Homegrown chef put it on with partnerships with It's Destiny Catering. The Latin-themed dinner features some of San Antonio's up-and-coming chefs as well. And while some produce is limited to the season, organizers say that doesn't mean you should shop elsewhere for your goods.
If we all don't start supporting local and supporting people that are doing things like this, eventually there won't be really any food. I mean, It's the slowest emergency on the planet.
Another great reason to eat and shop locally, knowing that these are truly fresh eats. Not something that's been brought in from far away that might have lost some of that freshness. Hey, and before we head to break, check this out. Caught on camera, video from Gonzales County today that shows an oil storage fire in the small town of Pilgrim. Happened this morning. Deputies say lightning is to blame. Thankfully, though, no one was hurt, but quite a sight to behold. Yes. I had a visit from someone today I hadn't seen in a while. Mr. Sun.
Yes, it was great to see the sun, but just south of here, they had severe weather this morning.
I know.
And some large hail, damaging winds. Those storms developed just south of San Antonio from Charlotte over to Falls City, caused that lightning storm. So all that bringing some nice sunshine now, high pressure building in, but it's not going to last long. We'll talk another storm system headed our way after the break.
This is Fox News at 9.
Underway along the coast of Texas, it's all to help the state's oyster industry as it bounces back from the devastating effects of Hurricane Harvey. Since Harvey's rainwater flooded the bays with fresh water, killing oysters, students and faculty are stepping up at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, collecting oyster shells from communities across the state to replant oyster habitats.
Baby oysters like to grow on adult oyster shells. So when you return the adult oysters to the bed, they have a whole little place for them to settle on.
Oyster recyclers say they will continue to collect and restore oyster reefs in hopes the bays will return to their former ecological glory. And speaking of which, coming up on Wednesday, we are hosting a Hurricane Harvey town hall. We will be giving you a tour of the areas hit hardest by the storm, and you'll hear more from state and federal representatives on what's happening now 6 months later. You can watch it live online at our website, foxsanantonio.com. A major move is underway by the Trump administration to undo some parts of Obamacare. The administration wants to expand people's abilities to get short-term health insurance plans. The new plan would allow people in between jobs in areas with limited options or simply priced out of the market to get short-term limited coverage. The gradual undoing of Obamacare has longly been publicly denounced by Democrats. Could the future of tattoos also play an important role in your health? Some researchers say the answer to that question may soon be yes. Researchers at Harvard used biosensor liquids to create some very special tattoos. The biosensors react to fluids circulating in the skin by changing colors. That can then provide important biomedical data to people with diseases.
So, for instance, imagine that you have diabetes. Your glucose levels go up and down, so you will see that your tattoo is changing color and you will know when you need more insulin.
That means diabetics would be able to look at the tattoo's color instead of pricking their finger multiple times a day. For now, the Dermal Abyss project remains a concept, but Vega says she hopes to refine it with more tests and collaboration. Time to hit the bar and/or coffee shop. The secret to a long life could be alcohol and/or coffee. Researchers at the University of California, Irvine found that people who drank 2 glasses of beer or wine a day lowered their chances of premature death by 18%. And coffee lovers who grabbed 2 cups of Joe a day decreased their chance of premature death by 10%. But of course, please drink responsibly. All right, for Olympians, intense training is a part of their lifestyle. It's something they've been doing since they were kids. But the medals they covet oh so much, turns out a lot of that takes a lot of training to make those too. Meet Suk Woo Lee. He's the mastermind behind this year's Olympic medals. He's led big designs for clients like Marvel, BMW, Dell, but this design is a bit different. We're not talking fictional characters, cars, or technology. This is an item that represents victory, achievement, and struggle.
Personally, I love that project. Yeah, that was obviously really. I'm quite honored to get designed the medal.
Like every Olympic medal an athlete wins, the Korean medal represents a peaceful gathering of countries competing against each other, even with the ongoing conflict between North and South Korea.
Now, first warning weather with meteorologist Robert Luna.
Well, it was a great day out there, beautiful sunshine. It was a great day to see some sun, and it's going to continue to tomorrow. We warmed up to 73 degrees, but with that dry air mass in place right now, World Car Weather Cam showing mostly clear skies, just a few clouds out there. Temperature down to 57 degrees, dry air cools down pretty rapidly, and we're getting down close to the dew point at 52, so areas of fog are possible tomorrow morning as we have that ground moisture in place. But temperatures right now pretty uniform. Temperatures stayed near 60 degrees out towards the east, where they saw rain, thunderstorms throughout the day, and that continued, finally ending late this afternoon. Out towards the east, they were up near 80 degrees, and they're down to 58 degrees in Del Rio again. Dry air cools down very quickly. Well, our weather trends, mild conditions for the next 7 days. We're going to see some sunshine tomorrow, and then we'll see some sunshine later in the week and some storms stuck in between there, and some of those storms could be strong. But for now, we're watching great high pressure coming in. It'll move very rapidly towards the east, and tomorrow we'll be in underneath all this nice sunshine, but we're already seeing some signs that the atmosphere is changing. Some high-level cloud cover will be coming right on top of us as we go late in the day, and by tomorrow night, we're going to already be seeing a change in our atmosphere. So high pressure, northerly winds, good radiational cooling. We'll get down into the 40s tonight, and then that high pressure quickly moves off towards the east. So quickly we'll see an easterly wind, then a southeasterly wind. Here comes the moisture, here comes the clouds, and here comes the rain. But for tomorrow, enjoy it. Sunshine throughout the day. In the morning, it'll be rather chilly. Get the jacket, 46 degrees. By the afternoon, nice sunshine up to about 70 degrees. But here comes our change in our atmosphere. Already a spin in the atmosphere out here toward the desert southwest. We're going to see a southwesterly flow, low pressure once again. This is going to deepen, grab some disturbances. So by pretty much midnight as we go into Tuesday morning, first round of rain, and then some more shots of rain. We'll see about 3 disturbances with this storm system, and the biggest shot will be some thunderstorms that come in Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. That's when we can see about an inch of rain and some thunderstorms. Finally, we'll kick this low out. High pressure builds in behind it. Finally, we're going to see about 3 to 4 days of nice sunshine towards the end of the work week and even in towards next weekend, which is the good news with this upper air system. Finally, a ridge of high pressure is going to hang around here for a few days. But now we're going to be watching the rain pretty much come back right at us tomorrow evening, and maybe by midnight tomorrow night, we're already going to be seeing some rain showers around the area. Then the stronger storm system comes through, and we can see 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch of rainfall, and then maybe 1 inch possible with this entire storm system as we go towards the middle part of the week. So tomorrow, enjoy the sunshine, 71, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms Tuesday, down to 40% Wednesday, then we'll clear it out. Nice sunshine for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Look at these nice temperatures, mild conditions throughout the week. But once again, be careful. Big storm headed our way on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thank you, Robert. Coming up, we check in on your weekend box office, where it wasn't so much a question of whether Black Panther would reign supreme, but rather by how much. Plus, speaking of blockbusters, mark your calendars. Seriously, we're already going to know when the 3rd Jurassic World movie is coming out. No, not the next one, the next one. We'll tell you all about it after the break.
He may be in the driver's seat, but he's not driving.
Make our turn.
A computer is. I'm in the back seat of one of Uber's new driverless test cars on the streets of Pittsburgh. It's not just passenger transport that's seriously becoming automated. There are also robot toilets, robotic food service, and a robot named Yumi recently became the first to conduct an orchestra. An increasingly robotic future stimulates the imagination, but is also drawing concern. Will millions of human jobs disappear and thrust the U.S. and the world into an unemployment crisis?
Well, I think the risk is that we have a workforce or a potential workforce which is largely either unemployed or underemployed.
Daniel Gersten is studying the issue for the nonprofit research group RAND Corporation.
One study had pointed to within the next handful of decades, we will see 1.2 billion people who would have been employed under this economy out of work.
Microsoft co-founder and billionaire Bill Gates recently ignited debate with his idea for a solution: a tax on companies that use robots to slow the speed of progress and pay to create new opportunities for the unemployed. But for all the support a robot tax may have, the idea has plenty of critics, like Drew Greenblatt, who runs Marlin Steel in Baltimore.
The robot tax is a bad idea because it hurts the employees' welfare. The employees in America need the best technology possible to thrive and prosper. That's how we differentiate ourselves from the competition.
Experts tell us that even if a robot tax isn't the answer,
Society will have to think long and hard about how best to deal with the inevitable disruptions of this next automation revolution. For Full Measure, I'm Cheryl Atkinson.
This is San Antonio's Fox News at 9.
Welcome back, Hollywood Buzz. Black Panther still dominating the box office for its second weekend of wide release. Wakanda Forever, the superhero mega hit, stayed #1 with a whopping $108 million, giving the Marvel movie 400 million smackers in its first 10 days. Black Panther has already made more than $700 million around the world. All right, and 4 months before Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom arrives in theaters, the next film in the series, the one after that, the third one, has already been announced. According to The Hollywood Reporter, you ready for this? Universal Pictures will release Part 3 of the rebooted franchise June 11th, 2021, in case you were wondering. All right, the Spurs do something they haven't done in 18 days. They won a game. We'll have highlights and reaction from the land. That's Cleveland, coming up with Chuck McIntyre and Hannah Trippett in Maximum Sports.
Did I forgot to edit that tease too?
I didn't see you, John.
They just told me that the first tease was offline. They didn't tell me about the second one. Come on, you're supposed to help your elders back there, y'all. No, it's not edited. I forgot to do it.
I'm sorry, John.
It's too late now. We're never.
You're watching Fox News at 9.
All right, do not adjust your television set. There are two Roberts on your
Yes,
TV screen
Robert.
right now. Robert Price, Robert Luna, what's going on?
Well, the pollen count, mold is down, but with the northerly wind, cedar is back. That's the big problem, and it'll probably continue with that northerly wind as we go through tonight and tomorrow. But tomorrow, enjoy the sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful 71 degrees.
All right, thank you very much, Robert. From Robert to Chuck McIntyre and the Cleveland the Cleveland Cavaliers really have a knack for making the Spurs look good, don't they?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they earned that one today, and the Cavs, I think, are still in flux after they gutted basically half their team. But, hey, a win's a win this time of year. We trust in that. Up next, UTSA's basketball teams, well, they lose a key player, and their baseball squad was hosting the third-ranked team in the country. Our story on AL MVP Jose Altuve, who says something about winning more World Series titles, actually way more. And while we are doing spring training, we also did some golf and equestrian. The walkers from Bernie get to support the other on the road. Also support each other because of some recent health concerns. Max Sports on the way next.